Hospital doctors are today celebrating a milestone, having successfully nurtured a preterm baby weighing, listen to this, only 400 grams. Now, baby Jeremy Tibula will be released today from the KNH National Hospital after a 5-month stay at the newborn unit. And we are now joined by our reporter, Brenda Cheruyot, who is live at the KNH National Hospital with an update on exactly what has been transpiring there. Thank you so much for joining us, Brenda. Kindly bring us up to speed with what you have for us.
Well, it's a miracle for the KNH National Hospital since Jeremy Tibula was born as a premature baby. He is officially a more preterm baby who happened to survive through all those 5 months period. He was born at 24 weeks, only weighing 400 grams. Just to give you a clear picture, that's about like 2 ordinary soaps put together, which is the size of like this palm of mine. Well, this preterm baby who was delivered right here at this facility was taken through round the clock. He had round the clock nurses attending to him, feeding him, giving him medication. Well, just to give you some of the achievements into perspective of Jeremy, that is, normally babies who are born full term, they are born at around 37 weeks to 40 weeks. And apparently he was born at around 24 weeks, which doctors normally consider it as he is not viable, because some of the systems, the vital organs, have not fully developed. For instance, the lungs, they cannot be able to take in oxygen. And these preterm babies normally are born with their head happens to be not in proportion with the body. The head normally appears bigger, and they normally have the languno, that is the hairs, which keeps them warm, because right when they are in the womb, they are normally they normally survive under high temperatures. And right now we are joined by one of the pediatricians who was on standby with him throughout this period. That is Dr. Miriam Karanja. Welcome. From this Jeremy, through the period, that journey has been really tough. Could you tell us, what did you take to make him survive?
Jeremy was born as an extreme preterm, 400 grams, and that was really a child who was considered not to grow or not to survive. But through once, he has actually survived. It was difficult because the breathing was not spontaneous, because the lungs were not mature. The chemical that starts the breathing, that is at 24 weeks, that's when the production starts. And so we are at the beginning of that. So there were many challenges at the time of delivery, establishing the breathing, keeping the baby warm, because keeping the temperature was very difficult, because the skin was thin, there was no fat to cover the baby. The feeding was quite difficult because of the feed disorders. The system has not matured. And was also prone to other things like the infections, anemia, because that was too early for the baby to survive.
Maybe just take us through, how was the feeding experience? How long did you used to take feeding him and giving him medication?
Initially, we started with the support of the breathing, try to keep him warm, which was very difficult because keeping the temperature where it's supposed to be, it took an extremely long period. The incubator was not enough, the other modalities were not enough, so we had to do a combination of several things to make the baby pick up the heat. We started also with the intravenous fluids, the dextrose, because these babies, they die of hypoglycemia, that is low blood sugar in the body. And even when it came to feeding, it was difficult because the system is not mature. They are not able to digest, and many times you try to give the feeds, the milk, the mother's milk, and the baby will not digest. At the beginning, you'd even start with the 0.5 milliliters of the breast milk. and the baby would not digest. But you have to be patient, giving the babies time to recover, to grow, to mature, until you are able to establish the feeding by weaning off fluids and starting the oral feeds.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was Dr. Miriam Karanja, who was the attendant, she was the pediatrician attached to Jeremy